Hello YouTube, this is Corbin22 here, back with another 100-point Squadron build for Star Wars X-Wing miniatures. Before we begin, I just want to say that recently I managed to procure, the day I went to go see Star Wars Force Awakens, I procured myself 2 more T-70 X-Wing fighters and 1 more First Order TIE fighter. And while we're on the topic of the movie, I gotta say it's it's by far the best Star Wars movie in existence. J.J. Abrams has revived Star Wars and made it into something great once more. I highly recommend you see it. It's a really good movie. You get 5 stars all across the board, and it really does deserve all those ratings. But I digress. We'll go into the squadron I have in mind here. This is a kind of a rehash of a previous squadron I built, my Butterfly Bee and Mosquito build. This time I'm utilizing 2 T-70 X-Wing fighters and 1 BTL S-3 Y-Wing. The X-Wings are piloted by Dameron and Red Ace, and then we have the Gold Squadron pilot piloting the Y-Wing fighter. And I'm pretty sure you all know the emphasis by the build. One floats like a butterfly, one stings like a bee, and the other one just is a mosquito picking shots off from a distance. That said, let's look at the build itself. So, like I said, I was able to procure 2 more T-70 X-Wing fighters and a First Order TIE fighter. And they all come with upgrades and abilities that and pilots that are not available in the Force Awakens core set. But a lot of these you already know about, so we'll get started right away. We'll start with the butterfly of the build, as well as the squadron leader, who is Black Leader himself, Dameron. He has a pilot skill of 8, and he flies the Incom T-70 X-Wing fighter. He has an attack value of 3, an agility value of 2, hull value of 3, and a shield value of 3. He can take the focus, target lock, and boost actions. Costs 31 squadron points, and is able to take on an elite pilot skill upgrade, a warhead upgrade, an Astromech upgrade, and a tech upgrade. His ability states, when attacking or defending, if you have a focus token, you may change one of your focus results to a hit or a evade result. So Dameron is kind of like a passive-aggressive kind of fighter. As long as you have a focus token on him, you can change any one of his focus results to a hit result when you're attacking or an evade result when you're defending. This coupled with auto thrusters makes Poe basically the quintessential arc dodger, because auto thrusters only works on ships that have the boost action icon, and since the T-70s have that, it pretty much guarantees that Poe will get both 2 evade results constantly all the time. Of course, they'll be more beneficial when defending at range 3, but I digress. We'll start with his modification. This one came with the T-70 X-Wings, and this is a welcome addition to every single X-Wing out there, both T-65 and T-70, and that is the integrated Astromech. I've been waiting for this one for a long time. It's an X-Wing only modification, which means it can be equipped to both the T-65s and the T-70s. And it states, when you are dealt a damage card, you may discard one of your Astromech upgrade cards to discard that damage card without resolving its effect. So this is basically for X-Wings. It's like a free hull upgrade. It has 0 cost, and it basically allows you to tribute you flip over your Astromech to negate that 1 damage that you will receive. So in theory, your hull value becomes 4 with the integrated Astromech, because you'll be losing your Astromech, but you'll save yourself that 1. Say you're about to be dealt. Say you lost all your shields and we're about to be dealt a critical. You could use your integrated Astromech to flip over to take away your Astromech and negate that damage for allowing you to survive another round. Then we go on to Poe's other upgrades. With his elite pilot skill, we've chosen Push the Limit, which states, let me get this to focus. There we go. Which states, once per round after you perform an action, you may perform 1 free action shown in your action bar, then receive a stress token. So this allows Poe to take 2 actions in 1 turn at the cost of getting stressed. And since the T-70 X-Wing has 1 more green maneuver, it makes it a little bit easier to get rid of that stress. But when you couple it with his Astromech droid, BB-8, it makes Push the Limit that much more effective. BB-8 states, when you reveal a green maneuver, you may perform a free barrel roll action. So that means Poe is able to do an action not listed in his action bar for free. If you reveal a green maneuver, you have the option to do so. Should you choose to do that barrel roll, you then trigger your Push the Limit, which allows you to take a second free action, like say maybe a boost or a target lock. That lets you get stressed. You would take your green maneuver to get rid of the stress, and then allows you to take your 3rd focus action. So basically, with this build, Poe is not only an arc dodger, but he's also good at action economy. He can take 3 actions in 1 turn, being a barrel roll, and then you can take a target lock or a boost, and then your 3rd action will be a focus after you take your maneuver. So pretty intricate combo, I must say. It is a bit difficult to use at first, but eventually, with enough practice, you know, it can make Poe it can make Poe into one of the most annoying fighters on the battlefield. Now I move on to his wingmate. There's another T-70 X-wing I got from the T-70 X-wing pack, and that is Red Ace. Red Ace has a pilot skill of 6. He also flies the Incom T-70 X-wing. He has an attack value 3, agility value 2, hull value 3, and a shield value 3. Like Poe, he can take the focus, target lock, and boost actions, cost 29 squadron points, and is able to take on a warhead upgrade, an astromech upgrade, and a tech upgrade. His ability states, the first time you remove a shield token from your ship each round, assign one evade token to your ship. So that means, with Red Ace, every time he loses a shield, when he loses at least one shield, you get to give him a free evade action, which will help him evade, which basically adds a temporary boost to his agility value. By say because he only gets 2 dice, the evade token adds a third evade result just in case you get an unfavorable result, and it'll help you either reduce damage or completely avoid it altogether. And yeah, so basically, as long as he keeps losing shields, he'll get that free evade token. But with the T-70s, even though they have more enhanced shields, they're still pretty fragile. I mean, they only have like one head point extra than the T-65. So you want to keep this guy alive as much as possible. So this guy kind of fills the role of Wedge Antilles, but because he has a lower pilot skill, he'll be attacking after Poe. But that doesn't mean he can still be flown aggressively, because he can take the boost action without having to take on the engine upgrade, unlike one like Wedge. And so we'll move on to his modification, which is again the integrated Astromech, which basically is a free hull upgrade to X-wings, both T-65 and T-70. Basically, if he's going to take a hull damage, you can flip over your Astromech and discard that damage without resolving it. And then we'll move on to his other upgrades here. Because this guy is going to be the B of the build, I've given him a bit more offensive capabilities, starting with the Flechette Torpedoes, one of my favorite torpedoes to field. It's a cheap cost, has an attack value of 3, can be used at range 2 to 3, and states discard this card and spend your target lot to perform this attack. After you perform this attack, the defender receives 1 stress token if its hull value is 4 or lower. So this guy is perfect against pretty much every single starfighter out there, because they have hull values because most starfighters only have a maximum hull value of 4 or of 3 or 4. The only exception being the TIE bombers and the Y-wing fighters. They have hull values of 6 and 5 respectively, as well as the K-wings and the TIE punishers, which have hull values of 5 and 6 respectively. But yeah, for most other ships, this is not only will they going to take damage, but they're going to take stress as well, because well, yeah, again, most starfighters have hull values of 4 or lower, unless of course you count the heavy bombers. But yeah, this would be perfect against B-wings too, because and TIE defenders, because, well, again, low hull value. So this guy is going to ensure that he gets stressed, and it'll be set up for the Gold Squadron pilot to take a better shot at his opponent, or if Poe Dameron needs to circle around and get a better shot at his opponent as well. For his Astromech, I at first went with R2-D2, because basically as long as this guy keeps making green maneuvers, he can recover shields. However, that kind of limits Red Ace's capabilities, because you know, he can only take so many green maneuvers, and half of them don't really offer, you know, good chances to get right into the fray. So what I've done is I instead equipped R5P9, which states at the end of the combat phase you may spend one of your focus tokens to recover 1 shield up to your shield value. So with R5P9, as long as you have your focus token until the end of the round, you can recover your shields. So this stacks well with his ability. It doesn't quite stack as well as R2-D2 does, but it's still a pretty good variant, because this guy ensures that he'll keep getting Red Ace will keep getting shields back, and Red Ace's ability will allow him to keep taking evade actions or free evade tokens as long as he keeps losing shields. But to further add to this combo, I have chosen to give him for his tech upgrade. I've chosen to give him not a weapons guidance, but a comm relay. The comm relay states you cannot have more than 1 evade token. During the end phase, do not remove any unused evade tokens from your ship. So for an extra cost of 1 extra point over the weapons guidance, the comm relay ensures that if Red Ace takes an evade and he doesn't ever use it, then that means he can keep that evade token until the next round. Then If he loses that evade, if he uses that evade token and still takes damage, Red Ace's ability will kick it again. He'll take that another evade token after he spends his previous one. So with the contra relay active with his ability, it ensures that Red Ace will always have an evade action on him. He can spend it whenever he wants, and then when he does spend it, if he still takes damage, Red Ace will get another free evade action on top of that. And then of course, this allows you to economize with your actions a bit and keep taking focus actions should you need to, so that R5P9 can keep repairing your shields and have Red Ace stay in the fight. And should your shields ever run out, then of course Integrated Astromech can kick in. You can flip over R5P9 to negate that 1 damage you'll receive. Anyway, now I move on to the Mosquito, which hasn't changed much. It is a Gold Squadron pilot. He has a pilot skill of 2, and he flies the Koyansar BTL S3 Y-Wing Attack Starfighter. He has an attack value of 2, an agility value of 1, hull value of 5, and a shield value of 3. He can take on the focus and lock-on actions, cost 18 squadron points. He's able to take a turret upgrade, 2 warhead upgrades, and an astromech upgrade. He is a common pilot, so there's no pilot abilities. But like I said, he's just the Mosquito. He's pretty much there as cannon fodder. And with his ridiculous amounts of hull and shields, he can pretty much take that. For his turrets, I've gone with a twin laser turret, which has an attack value 3, can be used at range 2 to 3. And it states, perform this attack twice, even at step outside your firing arc. Each time this attack hits, the defender suffers 1 damage, then cancel all dice results. So it behaves like an ion cannon turret, but they suffer damage instead of taking ion damage. And plus, with twin laser turret, you attack twice. So basically the strategy with Gold Squadron pilot is he's going to be circling around the field, keeping in that range 2 to 3 at all times, so that he can spam with his twin laser turret. And should he ever lose his shields and start taking hull damage, that is where R5D8 comes into play. R5D8 states, action, roll 1 defense dice. On an evade or a focus result, discard 1 of your face-down damage cards. So as long as Gold Squadron pilot keeps taking face-downs, R5D8 can take care of them. But if he takes a critical, then there's nothing R5 can do about that. Unless, of course, there is an ability, the critical states that you can flip it face down or take an action to flip it face down, and then, of course, the next turn R5 can fix that. But yeah, so this is the my enhanced Butterfly Bee Mosquito build. I'll show you how it works in just a second here. Okay, and we're back. I'm going to show you how this build works. Also, you might notice I also grabbed another expansion. I got the Imperial Raider for Christmas. Actually, it was sent to me by my grandmother in the mail. So thanks, Gran, for that. So how it works is the Gold Squadron pilot is going to make the first move. Say for this turn, he does a Heart 3, like so. He's going to do a Heart 3, and oh, that's a bump. Oh wait, yeah, it's a bump. Never mind. Let's say he does a soft 3 instead. Because a hard 3, I realized a hard 3 would stress him out. And then he's going to take a focus action. Let's get one of my new focus tokens out here. So he's going to take a focus action. Put that behind so that you can see that better. So I got myself new focus tokens too. And then Red Ace here. Let's say the last round he got an evade. Let's say the last round he got an evade token, and thanks to Khan's relay he didn't use it, and therefore he can keep it. So Red Ace is going to do a Heart 2 to get into position of fire, like so. And then his action is going to be a focus. And then finally, Poe Dameron's move. Say he's going to do a soft 1, which is a green maneuver. He's going to take BB-8's action. And I hope this works. No. Okay, so let's say move this guy over a little bit, just for the sake of the video. He takes his free action. Then he's going to push the limit with a boost, like that. Like that. And then he's going to take his action. Of course, he'd be stressed after that, but then he's going to take his action here. Take his maneuver. Get right up into that Raider's blind spot. And then he's going to, for his third action, he's going to take a focus. So see what I've done here. I've gotten Poe into a better firing position by using BB-8 plus push the limit to get behind the Raider, because the Raider has a blind spot right at its back. Like the Raider has a blind spot right there, and none of its cannons can shoot behind it. I mean, it has other ways to compensate for that. I mean, it's got a wide firing arc here and a narrow firing arc there. But its blind spot is right behind the ship, and I've managed to maneuver Poe right behind the Raider, so that means the Raider won't get a shot at him. He also won't be able to shot the Y-wing, but the X-wing is a prime target for that. I'll explain in a minute. I'm not exactly sure the rules for huge ships attacking. I'm not sure if they attack first or attack last. Let's just say for the sake of this video, he'll attack last. Don't quote me on this. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments below. But we'll have Poe attack first. Poe is going to shoot at point blank with his laser cannons. So that means he's going to get 4 dice. 4 dice right up close there. And since the Raider has no agility, the only way it can possibly evade results is if it has, if it took a, I think it's a reinforce action. So I have here 2 hits, a focus, and a blank. Poe's ability changes that focus to a hit by itself on its own. So the Raider now suffers. The Raider suffers 4 shield points. So he's lost all. He lost almost all of his shields. And then we'll move on to Red Ace here. Red Ace is going to attack at range 2. Let me just do a little measurement here. Yeah, range 2. So he's only getting 3 dice. So he has 1 hit. So he can't do anything about that. The Raider City loses all of his hits. And then the Y-wing attacks with his twin laser turret at range 2. So that's he'll spend his focus to change those to hits. And that means he suffers a hit and a critical. So he's down to 7, 6, and then 5. And say this is like I don't know what the upgrades. I don't know what the damage is. But let's say it's just a critical, random critical. And then he rolls again with twin laser. Oh no, sorry, he takes 1 damage. Sorry, because of twin laser. And then that ensures another hit. So that means he's now down to 6 hull. And now it's the Raider's turn to attack. The Raider has a shot at. Red Ace. Let's say for this example he uses a single turbo laser, which I believe can be used at 1 to 2. So I think it has an attack value of 4. Let's say 4 for this. Let's say 4 for this scenario. Again, don't quote me on that. This is I didn't get the chance to properly read through the Raider and its stats. So if I'm wrong, don't quote me on it. Just let me know in the comments below if I'm right or wrong. And yeah, so let's see this. So he takes 2 hits. So that means Red Ace has a chance to evade this. Oh, he evades it. Let's say for this scenario. He got 3 hits like that. He got 4 hits. Sorry. He got those 2 evades. He spends his evade token, but he still loses a shield. That's fine. So he loses a shield. He gets that evade action back for the next round, and then of course because of Khan's relay, he'll keep that evade. And at the end, and then of course at the end of the phase, spend your focus and have R5 recover R5 P9 recover your shield back to full strength. So that's the strategy behind this build. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Any constructive criticism is greatly appreciated. If you like, you may use this build for any competitive or casual play. Or if you like, you can tweak it or revamp it to your own specifications. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Corbin22, signing off.